Welcome.
Hello, both.
Can you hear us? I think maybe you're muted.
Uh,
Yeah,
No.
we can hear you,
is,
but not super
I
deep
am.
yet.
Are you guys able to hear
Now
me?
There you go.
Now we can hear you,
Okay, perfect.
both of you.
Perfect.
Great.
Can you hear me too?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Perfect.
since you're talking, Madhumita, could you please introduce yourself? Who are you? Where are you from? And what do you do in your day-to-day job?
Yeah. I mean, we had an intro slide. We thought we will go over that, but I can definitely chime in. Hi everyone. I'm Madhumita. I'm a product lead at StarTree. StarTree is an early stage startup in real-time analytics and anomaly detection space in Bay Area. And I'm super excited to be here, part of this session, and share our learnings around troubleshooting real-time business metrics with Star Tree ThirdEye.
Okay. Same question for you, Savadeep.
Hey everyone, my name is Shubhadeep. I am a founding engineer at StarTree. I've been working here for the past 2 years and being part of this exciting journey in the real-time / user-facing analytics space. So yeah, excited to show what ThirdEye can do, what are the kind of problems that we are solving, and how we are solving them at enterprise scale, as well as for small to medium businesses. So yeah,
Okay. So
thank you
if
for
I
having us.
understood well, StarTree is an anomaly detection platform, right? Or it's more than that?
StarTree actually offers a host of solutions. Okay, yeah, please, Madhu, please go ahead. You can probably explain better.
Sure. So StarTree is a real-time analytics platform or managed service, and it has different applications built on top of real-time analytics platform, which is called Apache Pinot. It's a managed service. And StarTree ThirdEye is an application built on top of StarTree Apache Pinot, and it's an anomaly detection platform.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm sure we will learn more about it in your session. So I would say if you can share your screen with us, then the platform is yours, and we're looking forward to learn more about it.
Sure.
Sure.
Subhadeep, are you planning to share?
Yes, give me 1 second.
One.
Great. I'll kick off. I mean, we already spoke about what we are going to talk today. So troubleshooting real-time business metrics with StarTree ThirdEye, and I'll quickly introduce I mean, I've already introduced myself, but we can go to the next slide. A little bit about me, my journey so far. I've worked at companies like Yahoo, Intuit, NetApp, LinkedIn, and PayPal in Bay Area, and my career journey so far, starting from an application engineer to data product manager, and now I'm working in the applied AI, data science, data platform, and data product space. I'm also an avid writer, author of LinkedIn newsletter around product management and data and AI space. Besides that, I enjoy public speaking, and also I'm passionate about data and anomaly detection, something that I do not do as part of my professional career, and I not on my LinkedIn profile. I enjoy spending time with my family, especially in waterfront and Bollywood music and dancing.
Cool. I can just briefly talk about myself a little bit here as well. So I did the intro earlier, but so I come from a more software engineering background. Like I have worked extensively on distributed systems and spent a decent amount of time on ML infrastructure at LinkedIn. Apart that, I'm mostly like into a lot of music. I taught myself the keyboard and I spend a lot of time on it. Apart that, I play with my dog. His name is Simba. That's the photo right there. But that's mostly about me. Before this, I did have a decent amount of experience both working in an enterprise situation like LinkedIn, and also I had my startup for 3 years, which I worked in India, which also gave me a lot of experience in not only the ML space, but as well as the more application technology, or rather like being user facing in terms of a whole bunch of users and then being able to run a product at scale. So yeah, that's mostly about me. So I'll let Madhu take over from here.
Thank you, Subhadeep, for the nice intro. So as part of the agenda, what we will be covering today is a quick landscape of real-time business metrics and introduction to StarTree ThirdEye, and then I will hand over to Subhadeep to give a problem, to walk through a problem, and then the demo, which will be super useful for the audience so they can relate with it very well, and they can see the challenges and how StarTree ThirdEye is trying to solve those challenges. And then we will wrap up with some key takeaways. Next slide. So as you can see on the slide, I just wanted to briefly call out some of the real-time business metrics, and which is very common in many companies. It's not specific to industry. It is a very common challenge that every company faces, which is around monitoring business transactions. If you are a B2B or a B2C, you do have business transactions. You would like to monitor them because your revenue and everything else associated with that. The second one is the revenue metrics, which could be very key to your business success. And the third over here is execs at the company who are looking at dashboards day in out to make decisions. And the last but not the least, very, very important, which is the application response time versus revenue. So if you are running a software on the cloud or it's user facing, I'm sure you have sleepless nights to make sure your application is up and running and highly performant, and you are monitoring those response time, and also you are seeing how it contributes to your revenue, like if there is a drop or a spike. So that's not the overall landscape, but some of the key like real-time metrics that is keeping our business, up and sleepless nights, and they are on top of this all the time. And I just wanted to share that with all of you. Next slide. So what happens when something goes wrong in these metrics, right? These real-time metrics. So I just wanted to call that out and why this metrics drop. So this is an example I've taken, which is a real life example. It happened a couple of years back at LinkedIn when we didn't have a good anomaly detection platform out there. And our CEO, who was literally acting like an anomaly detector, he was looking at the exact dashboard. He would get emails notified on the metrics. And when he sees there's a drop, and he would be very anxious to bring that up with the rest of the team to see what's going on. Now, next slide, we can quickly look at what was happening behind the scene when a group of data scientists, business operations, data engineers, SREs come into a room and how they were trying to troubleshoot the data issues. So as data is vast and very few people were building the data products, rest of the company were too far out from that, and including our execs who are at a much higher level, not on the grounds. And they will, once the issue is identified, people will huddle in a room for days, sometimes hours, starting from hours to days and weeks, based on the complexity of the data. Very handful people would know what's going wrong, but the majority of people did not know, and they will be anxious and constantly asking people what's going wrong. And that was very tiresome. And now, as next step, what was happening overall, like impact to the business, which was around productivity loss and impact to the opportunity costs, and sometimes it is also direct impact to the business because we haven't identified those issues in a timely fashion. So what we should be doing. So next slide, if we can see, in this given situation, the first thing that every team would like to solve and make it better is monitoring those KPIs, the key performance indicators that we were seeing in our first slide, which covered some of the examples of real-time business metrics. So once you monitor those KPIs, you identify outlier, and then eventually you find the impact the end users. Now, all these things look very straightforward and simple, but when you try to implement and try to do this is not easy effort. Like whether you are doing manually with the massive scale of data, it's impossible to find those data blind spots. If you're trying to do also through implementing, say, anomaly detection softwares or libraries, this is also not an easy play. It involves a lot of effort for enterprises, especially, and also many other company who are data heavy. Next slide. So hearing these all pain points, and our CEO, who was part of those war rooms back then at LinkedIn, he was inspired to go after solving this problem. And that's how the team formed. And we went on this journey, introduced ThirdEye at LinkedIn, which grew at LinkedIn. Then it was open source. Then StarTree formed around Apache Pinot and ThirdEye, and StarTree team took ownership of that, and Subhadeep joined the team and modernized the platform along with several other engineers in the space. And that's how the StarTree ThirdEye has been formed. And in one sentence, if I have to explain what StarTree ThirdEye is, it helps with fast track problem solving with applied anomaly detection. Why I highlight applied anomaly detection is as a user, you do not have to worry about cooking up everything and learning the algorithms and learning the libraries and learning data science fundamentals. That's not required. All you could do as an app engineer, apply the anomaly detection that comes with StarTree ThirdEye on a time series data, and you can conduct interactive root cause analysis and actionable insights. So it has three core pillars. You connect the data source with, since ThirdEye is built on Pinot, so it lets you ingest data to Pinot, and ThirdEye seamlessly picks that up, those KPIs, and applies those detection techniques and lets you do root cause analysis. Next slide, please. So what's special about ThirdEye? How is different than many other anomaly detection software out there? Given it is built on top of Pinot, it is leveraging all the strength of Pinot and able to detect anomalies as quickly as possible, less than like probably around minutes, 1 minute time difference. We have like different time ranges that people can identify anomalies in the KPIs, but the minimum is 1 minute up to that level. ThirdEye lets you detect as quickly as possible. And in any anomaly detection software, counts, aggregations are key, and you're running those in a massive data. It will slow down you. And then with Pinot, power of Pinot, you can do that in sub-seconds. So that's the beauty of this as compared to many other anomaly detection software out there. You can combine both real-time and historical data. That's also unusual, and on top of it, running those sub-seconds query. That's the strong part of the ThirdEye, which differentiates it with many other anomaly detection software out there. Besides the beautiful architecture and all the applied science part of it, makes it super easy to use for users. It has a community that's building, and then it has also APIs that users can leverage and build several other applications on top of this. So yeah, with that, I will hand over to Subhadeep.
Thanks, Madhu. Let me just quickly walk over a problem and how ThirdEye helps solve this particular use case and similar. So let's look at the problem if for a large drop in views. So imagine a social network like LinkedIn, and we are measuring page views on a daily basis. And all of a sudden, you see that one fine day, there is this thing, the metric, which is suddenly dropping. And then the question is like, what happened? Like, why is it dropping, right? And that kind of panics a lot of execs, because you get a lot of ad revenue and a lot of things are actually connected to the same underlying metric. So looking at what page views is, think of it as a table with a few attributes. Like for example, it would have country, for example, device. So whether it's a phone, whether it's a laptop, and you can have like different kinds of dimensions on any data set, right? And you have this aggregate count, which is indicative of the number of page views that is happening on a certain website. In this case, we are talking about LinkedIn. Now, certain questions that again come up here is that, okay, do we see an anomaly? Like what caused this? And these are the kind of questions which gets really hard when you're trying to address them at scale. And that's where ThirdEye comes in. So how ThirdEye attacks this problem is using this workflow in which we kind of start from the data and end at the event. So in this case, for example, we are starting with a highly scalable, low latency SQL storage engine like Pinot, right? And what it is allowing us to do is it gives us a lot of ability in terms of performing queries on a low latency and highly performant way. So that way, when we are running all of these detections simultaneously, we do not affect the overall performance of the underlying engine, which is actually serving real-time traffic. Now, in this case, what we are doing is that we are taking all of this data which is coming in, and then we are feeding into an anomaly detection pipeline. Now, based on this pipeline, we are able to figure out using a bunch of logic, which is highly customizable, of course, we are able to figure out that whether a certain point is something worth looking at or not. If it is, we have a notification pipeline which kicks in, and then we notify you wherever you want to, like, for example, Slack or email or some other custom source that you guys have. And then you actually dive into, once you get the notification, you can dive into the app to figure out what actually caused this. And the way we approach this problem again is through a suite of tools and algorithms correlating metrics and other events. So in this case, when you wanted to think of root cause analysis, we are trying to figure out whether a certain event, a certain anomaly is caused by a certain event. So let's jump right in. So this is what ThirdEye looks like. Just to confirm, like you guys are able to see the ThirdEye screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Madhu. So in this case, we have the ThirdEye dashboard. So the ThirdEye dashboard offers you a brief view of what the current status of the system is, what is the feedback that is coming in from the system in terms of accuracy, in terms of anomalies, and also offers you a huge suite of tools and documentation to learn more about the system. Now, let me jump into configuration quickly to show what ThirdEye needs to be able to work. So in this case, we have this data source, which is a configuration. And for ThirdEye, we are running on top of Pinot. So we have a Pinot instance, which is configured with ThirdEye to work. So once we configure this, we pretty much pull in all the data sets and metrics which are available on Pinot automatically. So the user has a complete view on what is available in for the system to monitor. So data sets are nothing but a one-to-one mapping between tables. And metrics, think of them as columns on which you can apply a certain aggregation function. Could it be count? It could be average. It could be percentile. It could be just simply sum. So it depends on how you want to aggregate your metric. You can just use that using and define it a metric. So I'll jump on to an alert here. So what I'm going to do is, since we're talking about page views, I'm going to look at alerts around page views. Yeah. So this is probably a very simple case of ThirdEye where we are just using a percentage change phase detection. So in this case, what we are seeing is that when we are looking over a week or a week pattern, we suddenly see that, okay, there is a certain drop that happened on this anomaly, on this data set, and which is marked here in red. And now the question is like, okay, we see an anomaly, what happened? So in ThirdEye, when you see an anomaly, you can actually, from the alert, you can dive in directly into the anomaly. So this gives you a view of exactly like how the metric dropped and where the prediction looked like. So in this case, the green line actually shows what ThirdEye expected it to be versus the blue line, which is the actual metric. And that is being captured as an anomaly. If you want, you can actually say that, yes, this looks like an anomaly. I can go ahead and give a positive feedback on it. Or I can say that maybe, no, this doesn't look like something like an anomaly, or probably this is a new trend. All these inputs actually go back into the system and go back into, based on the detectors you're using, they can actually help train the algorithm better. Now, once you know that this is an anomaly, the next step is to figure out that, okay, how do I investigate this, right? And how do I figure out what caused this? So that's where the RCA part of the story comes in. So ThirdEye has an extensive suite of algorithms in this case to help you correlate a bunch of things and have a much deeper insight into the underlying data set. So in this case, I'm just looking at heat map, which kind of tells you what is the contribution of different different dimensions for this particular metric. In this case, when I look at a week before, so my baseline here is 1 week, which means I'm looking at a week before, I'm able to see that the blue bars, which have considerably increased in their contribution to the overall metric versus something in red, which has decreased. So in this case, I'm able to see that something happened for dimension browser equal to Chrome. So for Chrome, the traffic has dropped. We are not sure exactly why, but that seems to be the case. Now, if I jump over to top contributors is basically a proprietary algorithm within ThirdEye, which kind of tries to drill down into different dimensions and give you an overview of what could have gone wrong based on the data point that you have selected. So in this case, again, I see that there's a common theme here. Despite different versions, Chrome seems to be having a reasonable impact for this particular anomaly. Now we are able to figure out that, okay, maybe something is wrong with Chrome. So what events can I look at? So ThirdEye actually does have an event provider mechanism through which you can pull in events from Google Calendar, and you can also consume your own events. In this case, we see that there is a Jira event where we have something called deployment 0.6, which happens to coincide with the particular anomaly. So we can actually add these events to the map and do our analysis. So what the possible root cause that we are able to figure out here is that this anomaly is actually coinciding with a certain deployment. Now, it could have happened that maybe there was an app deployment and a rollout happening during this time, which could have actually caused this for a certain drop. So what I can actually do now is, based on my analysis, that maybe this particular Jira or something that a deployment that happened is actually causing this, and I can go ahead and save this investigation. And then I can say that, okay, possible drop due to 0.76 rollout. And now once I save this investigation, I can actually share it with my team or with other folks and kind of collaboratively work together to see if actually that is the reason or the underlying root cause which caused this anomaly. So all the investigations are now visible. Whatever investigation that you do are visible and tied to the anomaly, and you can actually like go back and change, edit, and do all and share like and any other entity would. And that is kind of the way that ThirdEye is trying to address or bring together different opinions and then consolidate into a certain root cause. So this is how ThirdEye actually starts from the data right to the root cause. But ThirdEye doesn't actually stop there. The thing that we skipped over a lot is the anomaly detection workflow itself, which is in the interest of time, I'll quickly show you certain things that ThirdEye can do, which is actually pretty cool in terms of the amount of visibility that it gives into the underlying data. Now, in this example, I was showing that with Chrome, there was a certain problem. So in ThirdEye, you can actually go ahead and monitor multiple time series as part of one single whole. So in this case, I'm monitoring the same data set and I'm monitoring them across Chrome, across US, and I'm monitoring the overall metric all in one single alert. And its capabilities like this, which allows the user to have a much deeper insight into different slices of the data while simultaneously looking at the overall data. And if we actually do figure out an anomaly, we can do our usual root cause flow after that, exactly what happened with it. So all these tools together actually make ThirdEye really powerful. So I'll quickly jump over this particular anomaly, which is, sorry, yeah. As you can see here, this is another instance that of an anomaly that we see for something called US sales. So this is how the metric is. And all of a sudden, we see this huge spike. When we jump into the investigation, we actually are able to see that, okay, there's a very rich heat map, a lot of things happening. But then we notice that for, in some cases, we see a distributor actually has increased significantly. And while in the previous heat map, we were seeing pretty much a grayed out zone, meaning that most of the other metrics didn't matter here. Once you actually look into a distribution, you can see that all the other dimensions within it are also changing. So ThirdEye actually goes ahead in terms of diving into the data in terms of dimensions, and allows you to filter out one dimension after another. So for example, in this case, I'm actually looking at the underlying metric and also the slice of the metric where sales channel is distributed. And so I can add it to the chart and look at how the distribution actually changed when, sorry, the metric actually changed when the overall metric is here versus when the sales channel is distributed. It's all these tools combined, which helps us figure out that, okay, maybe there is this big increase here, which could have caused this, or maybe it could have been a customer for that matter, which actually contributed to this increase. For example, in this case, I see that Winthrop has increased by 100%, meaning that maybe some new customer came in, which probably contributed to the alert. So with that, I'll probably wrap up the demo. But that is, in short, a quick overview of what ThirdEye does and how ThirdEye actually helps you get insights from your data in real time. So quickly going over the key takeaways. So how ThirdEye, how troubleshooting real-time analytics using anomaly detection is helping enterprises to save cost and increase revenue. So the very fact of monitoring and being able to detect these issues early makes a huge difference in terms of saving costs and also identifying key issues before they actually hit your customer, thus saving a lot of manpower time and troubleshooting time, and also which adds up into money overall. Star Tree ThirdEye helps us with accurate predictions. This helps you time to detect problems in fast-track problem solving. So when you are able to also dive into root cause and other of these modules to give you insights into what is happening, it gives you a much better idea of what's going on rather than just saying that, hey, something dropped and I don't know why. So this helps us identify potential causations and correlations present in data. So this is again tied to the event analysis framework. We are able to connect events and anomalies together and correlate between them over time and other factors that we are able to drill down into a certain event or a series of events which actually caused an anomaly. And apart that, I'd like to really call out the architecture of ThirdEye, which is really flexible and pluggable, making it enterprise ready and at scale to help work with some of these problems which have like different use cases across different data sets. That's about it. I will hand it over to Madhu to wrap up.
Well, I think we already need to wrap up also from our side because the time is limited. But if possible, I would like to ask you one question because I've seen quite some interesting things of metrics and I'm figuring out why something was an anomaly. So to the forgot now the specific word for it, but. How would you compare ThirdEye with, for example, Microsoft Metrics Advisor, if you put them next to each other?
I can take that question, and then Sudeep, you can chime in. I'm very familiar with Metrics Advisor, and I have tried myself Metrics Advisor. The challenge I faced is download that software, build that software, make it ready, this data readiness, and then understanding how I can apply the detectors and then use it end to end. I think that is one of the challenges I faced. Like it was a deep learning curve. Second was the real-time detection part in making the data ready and doing a lot of data cooking work, which took also significant of my time. With StarTree ThirdEye, we are definitely making that things much more easier for developers or application engineers like me who are not like that much deep into data infra and operations, and I can easily just plug into the data source and it has necessary tools, and then I don't have to spend so much time. All I need to do is data architecture piece, and then I can apply the data science where I don't need to understand what's the algorithm. It's easy to plug in the algorithms with simple parameters that I need to pass, and then I can run end to end. All I can focus on is my use case and how I can make my use case work. Besides, the other bigger part was root cause analysis, Advisor doesn't give us a depth into that and doing dimension drills, which I can very efficiently do using ThirdEye plus Apache Pinot Power, because it is as you saw in the demo, like literally he could bring in all the dimensional insights as quickly as possible. So that's helping me to solve the root cause, or at least identify the root cause, which is more actionable as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank
That's
you
fair,
for
I
that
think.
answer. Yeah. All right, Madhumita and sorry, the names are not always easy. Sufudeep, thank you very much
No
for
worries.
joining us tonight. Or this, yeah, it's
Thank you for having us.
or this morning or this afternoon. We're glad to have you on board, and hopefully we'll hear more about ThirdEye in the future also. So thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye. And that
Bye.
wraps up another session of the Global AI Developer Days. We'll be back in a couple of seconds with our next session.